Tom here, FlipAnything USA. Just on my way home. Been kind of a long day. Got interviewed today from a real estate YouTuber. Has got a channel called Monoperty. That's like Monoperty or Monopoly and property put together. So Monoperty. Pretty interesting interview. His name's Andy. Got a good channel. He hasn't been investing all that long, maybe 8 years or so, but you know, similar to me, and that's why he kind of sought me out. He's got kids and wants his kids to learn the business. But it was interesting just talking to him, because I realized there's a lot of things. A lot of people have apprehension about, you know, taking steps forward and doing things. And I actually threw a video out just a little bit ago about confidence. You know, so much of, you know, like they say, if only I knew then what I know now. I think a lot of us will relate that to confidence. If you're young, you don't yet, but when you get older, you realize, you know, you just wish you would have asked that girl on a date, or, you know, you'd have taken that step, or maybe taken that promotion, or whatever. You know, I always tell my daughters when they're arguing with me, not that they argue all the time, but I always tell the one, see, you know, you want to not have any regrets, best you can do. You know, ideally you get through life without having any regrets. And you know, that can mean, you know, bad choices. You don't want to make bad choices, and at the same time you want to make good choices. And with her, I'm always telling her, you know, you just don't want to leave mad, because I don't like fighting with my daughter, obviously. But with my boys, you know, they're so young, they're not quite into the real estate thing yet, and you know, but I'll see them be a little bit shy, or you know, be apprehensive to go say, hey, you know, what are you doing? And I say, hey, go just ask that kid, you know, hey, what's up? Ask him if he wants to play. And you know, of course, it's hard to do that, but once they do it, next thing you know, they're playing. Well, that's kind of like real estate. You know, I always, and I can't emphasize it enough, take that step, knock on that door. You know, shake hands with people, even though maybe you're not a real social person. I didn't used to be. Now, you know, I'm pretty much uninhibited. But, you know, take that step. Let people know that you're looking for property. You want to buy property. That you're, you know, that you're on the prowl for property. And like I say, when you drive around that neighborhood and you look and you see something interesting, write down that address. I'm about to drive by one here that I've been telling myself I need to write it down. I mean, I know the address already, but I haven't been following up on it because I've been so busy. But I'm actually, I mean, I'm 100% full. All my properties are just making more money than they ever have. I'm maintaining 100% occupancy. I'm renewing leases and raising rents. And, you know, I try to keep my rents a little bit on the low side, but even keeping them on the low side, I still have to raise them quite a bit compared to what they are. And so I've never produced more money as a landlord than I am right now. And I need to still go through the motions. You know, when I see something, I need to follow up on it, I need to call on it. And obviously, you know, we have commitments with family and that sort of thing, but just try to make it as easy on yourself as you can. You know, I use a cell phone if I'm in a hurry, or I'll take a picture of a for sale sign or a for rent sign. I'll take a picture of the address on the house, and I'll take a picture of the street sign, and I worry about sorting it out later. You know, using your cell phone is really a wonderful way to, you know, when you're on the go, you know, just click, you know, take the for sale sign, get the picture. If you don't remember the street, take a picture of the street sign, and follow up on it later, and then put it to pad, and, you know, look it up however you want to look it up for finding the owner. You know, primarily that's it. Just want those of you that are interested, you got to stay focused on, you know, kind of, you know, be regular about, you know, driving the neighborhood. I'm going into a neighborhood right now, and I'm turning a little earlier than I normally would turn, but this is so I can take a little bit more of a circuitous route home. But it includes me driving by, seeing if there's anything new for sale. At the same time, I own 6 or 7 houses in this neighborhood, so I can quickly, you know, see if something's, you know, needs attention. I'm looking at one of my houses right now, and, you know, yeah, looks good. You know, I'm not a, I see some stuff that's a little bit out of line, you know, some junk that I don't particularly like. But you know what? I'm not somebody that henpecks my tenants. You know, everybody's got a bad yard day once in a while. I just let it go. And here's another one, and I'm reminded by looking at this property that I actually have. It's got this house here. I could show it to you, but I'll just describe it. It's got these big, like 4x20 beams that run through the house, out and jut out beyond the porch. And the problem with that kind of thing is they get, after years, they get wet and the wood starts to rot. And really the ideal thing is when you got something like that is just soak it with Thompson's water seal or oil, but then also cap the top with a little piece of tin just to keep the water out of it so it just sheds off to the sides. Now I'm going by another one of my properties, and this is a really cool one. In fact, this one here, I'm going to show you a little video on this one just because of the uniqueness and why I bought it. And I think I might have done this before, but I'm going to show this again. So look here. This, let's see. So you can see I've got this enormous lot out here, and try to keep an eye on here. And then there's the house, and I'm trying to keep the truck out of it because I don't want to have to edit this and take out the license plate. But what it is I've got a house that's way up front here, and then I've got, you know, this street, but the house, you can see the house is way forward, and then there's all this lot way back here. So what that does is that allows for me, when I bought it, I thought, oh, this is fantastic, because I got an oversized lot that I can break into two, and I can separate it because the house is so far forward on the lot that I'm going to be able to do a subdivision. I'm going to be able to just split that lot. And believe me, a house on a half acre, a house on a quarter acre, there really is no appreciable difference as far as how much money you get. A buildable lot is a buildable lot. So these lots are worth $100,000, whether it's a quarter acre or a half acre. So like on this one here, I can just split this lot and just, I could sell the lot for $100,000, keep the house, or I could sell the house and I could build out on the lot if I wanted to. So, which is another thing too. You know, when I look at properties, you know, trees are assets. At large lots, I like large lots. I'm a property guy for sure. I love large lots, and I think they do bring in more value. And you know, it's just another thing to consider when you're driving through a neighborhood. And I do see, actually, I'm seeing more and more of these houses are looking really fixed up. And I suspect that they've changed hands, and somebody's fixing it up to sell it. So probably somebody got in here, made direct contact to the owner, slipped by me, so that's one that got away probably. And actually I see a house there, that's one that got away from me a long time ago. I'll tell you the story on that real quick. I bought the house I just looked at that I just showed you, and another house. It was a couple. They were a boyfriend girlfriend that met, lived on the same street for years, and they decided they were going to move out of here. They didn't really want to tell the neighbors what they're doing. They came to me, they said, hey Tom, we know you buy property, would you like to buy our houses? And I said, you know what, I'll take them both. And so we made a deal, a handshake deal, okay? And so then I said, let's just not tell anybody anything that we're doing. They didn't want the neighbors to know. I didn't either, because I didn't want anybody to mess up my deal. Well, sure enough, she told her neighbor. The neighbor said, oh, don't sell it to Tom, because they don't like, some of the neighbors don't like that I own so much property in the neighborhood. And so she said, I'll buy it myself. So then she comes to me and says, I'm not going to sell it to you, Tom. I'm sorry, I got to sell it to her. And I said, are you kidding? We made a deal. We had a handshake. She said, I know, I just can't do it. So it upset me. But in fact, it upset me so much, I let her know that her boyfriend almost didn't sell me his house because he was upset that I was upset. But anyways, we still made our deal. You know, me and him signed our contract. She didn't. And then I found some other property to buy. And then she comes back and said, Tom, you were right. She didn't close it. And I told her, because I told her, look, this is the neighbor having a gut reaction, not using their head to buy this. They're saying they're going to buy it to take it away from me. That is not a very good incentive to try to buy this, to buy your home. And so sure enough, the lady backed out on her, and of course she backs out on her 3 or 4 weeks later. Well, now I don't have the extra money to buy it, and I still wanted it, but I was a little bit upset with her anyways. I thought, serves you right. But it was a really good house. In fact, it was an older home, but it was so immaculate. She was just an immaculate housekeeper. In the backyard, it looked like Better Homes and Gardens. It was just beautifully kept. And so I really wanted it. But anyways, she kind of screwed it up for both of us. And so I didn't get it. I didn't buy it, and somebody else got it. It was a nice couple that got it too. But man, what a beautiful home. And I, they cleaned it up and they painted it well. And it looks like $500,000 now, and it probably is. At the time I was buying it for $220,000 or $216,000, one or the other. But anyhow, there's always deals. Also people think, oh, what are the chances are I'm going to find a great deal? Listen, there's a deal every day. There's a deal every day. In fact, when I was interviewed today, I told this story. I'll tell it now since it was on somebody else's channel. But regarding good deals and why people sell under market. Well, I went on vacation, and I lived in a different home than I do now, but I had a nice house then too. And I always looked across the street, and I loved this property that I was looking at across the street. And I thought, man, I'd love to buy that. It was, a couple acres, 3 acres, decent house. But I thought, man, I could do so much with this. But I never walked over and got to know my neighbor. And I've been doing this for years, and I just didn't get around to it. So anyways, we go on vacation for 10 days, me and my wife and kids. And so we leave. We're gone 10 days, and as we're pulling back up to the house, I look over, there's a for sale sign in front of this house. And I go, oh no. And I mean, I was already stepping on the gas just to get in the driveway faster. Got out, looked at the sign, called the agent. I won't say his name. His name was Harry. I won't say his last name because I was kind of upset with him too. So I call him up and I say, hey, I want to buy this house. How much? That's kind of how I put it. He said, it's already under contract. So from the time I was on vacation, this thing got a sign put in, somebody bought it immediately, or, signed up to buy it immediately, and I was out of luck. And I should have known this neighbor. I would have been the first in line if I had stayed in touch, but I didn't. And so I told him, I said, look, I want to put in a backup offer. He goes, I'm not going to take a backup offer, which I always insist on a backup offer. And I said, okay, fine. Oh, no problem. I said, I'll go talk to the owner myself. Hung up with him, walked straight across the street. Because I told him, I said, man, he told me how much they were asking. He said, it's put on the market for $170. I go, well, no wonder it's sold overnight. I said, you weren't asking enough. That's too cheap. And not that I'd normally be upset about that, but I run across the street and I knock on the door and I meet this lady, nice lady, opens the door, and I tell her, I go, hey, you know what? I saw your house went up for sale. I'm sorry, I'm introduced myself. I live across the street. Been meaning to talk to you. I said, I want to buy this house. I said, if we can undo the deal you're in, or if you haven't signed it, I said, I'll give you $50,000 more. I'll give you $220,000. I said, I really want to buy this. And so I look at her thinking she might be like excited about my deal, and she bursts into tears. Just immediately burst into tears. And I'm like, oh, are you okay? And she said, I just want to sell this place. I don't care about money. She goes, my husband left me and I just want to get out of here. And she just was crying. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I said, here's my card. If the deal falls out, I said, I'll still buy it immediately. And of course the deal never fell out because the house is probably worth $350,000. But anyways, it's just a good example of things that can happen. Like I say, somebody come to me, I'd be like upset. I'd be trying to I want to make that deal happen. But she was just like, I don't care. Like I said, she was bawling, crying. My husband left me. I just never even want to see the place again. So there's motivations that you just can't imagine, that people just don't care. They want to sell it. They want out, and that's it. So I'm home now. I think I'll end it here. But just always go the extra mile, as I say, and be ahead of the game. Be ahead of the game. Things even slip by me, and I think I'm a smart guy, on this real estate stuff. But even I get lazy a little bit, and I lose opportunities. But ask, knock, inquire, and stay in touch, and it'll pay handsomely in the long run. So anyhow, that's it. Flip Anything USA. Please subscribe, and if you haven't already, and please share it with others to subscribe, and like my videos if you would. We're actually climbing very well. We're growing fast, and I'll try to keep it interesting. And anything you want to know, you just ask me, and I'll share what I know. Thanks a lot. Flip Anything USA.